We are guaranteeing that this truck will not break down for 1,000,000 miles. We are guaranteeing it won't break down for 1,000,000 miles because it has 4 independent motors. You can lose 2 of those 4 motors and the truck will still keep going. In fact, even if you only have 2 of the 4 motors active, it'll still be a diesel truck. Then it has, there's a few other benefits as well. Brakes are a big deal for trucks. You got to stop 80,000 pounds. It's not easy. That's a lot of brake wear. But because with an electric motor, you can turn the brakes into generators. So every time you brake, that kinetic energy of braking goes straight back into the battery pack instead of wearing down a brake pad. So the brake pads basically last forever. You never need to replace brake pads ever.
Ready? Oh shit. Oh, we already broke it. Alright, well. It literally broke it right out the gate. Oh my god. Hey, Elon, what are you doing, bro? How's it already broken? Alright, first off, let's go switch it back. We didn't do any of this. Alright. Bro. How did I already break this shit? Uh-oh. I don't know how to turn the turn signals on or anything. Alright, so we're locked in for a minute. This is so... Yeah, it's like in limbo too.
What in the world is happening with our Cybertruck? Well, we had some lug nuts falling off earlier in the week, but we have put them back on.
Lug nuts falling off your tires is pretty bad, but then there's this.
Our wiper has gone missing. Well, actually, last night in a rainstorm, it started breaking off. Some pin may have broken off. It started flopping around up here over the edge of the truck. Would not wipe at all, so I removed it for the road trip.
Okay, that's just straight up awful and probably incredibly dangerous. How do you feel about your Cybertruck now?
This thing has been an absolute trooper, though, and we have...
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, total trooper, you love it. I just saw a Cybertruck drive by right now. I've never actually seen one in the wild. I wish I had the camera flipped around. The Cybertruck is supposed to be built for any planet, and Tesla's official website has this picture of it crossing a stream in like Iceland or something. And then there's the reality. This Cybertruck couldn't handle being on the road and ended up off-road and got stuck and then partially submerged and couldn't get out. Now apparently entire body panels are falling off the Cybertruck. If this happened mid-drive, it would be incredibly dangerous with that stainless steel. Tesla build quality has always been kind of but this is taking it to a new level.
What just happened?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my god! Our whole frame just snapped. The hitch is hooked up to what?
Jeez.
That thing's totaled. You're not fixing that. The truck is totaled. Like any other normal truck could do that, and you're not gonna break the frame. It's sealed. Let's say your trailer, it gets a flat and then it hits a pothole, it could shear this whole thing off.
Dream on! Dream on! Dream on!
I'll call Elon, he'll get you out.
Let's try to break the Tesla Cybertruck tonneau cover. How many times do you have to open it and close it until it stops working? Well, there's our answer. If we go inside the vehicle, we can see this error. It doesn't work. But luckily, time heals all wounds because it's just the motor that overheated. Give it a break and it will be fixed. So I counted 9 times that it would open and close. What do you think about that? Just make sure you're not playing with it before you have to go on a vacation. I could just imagine a scenario where your Cybertruck is packed and you need to shut it and it's raining and you're running late and it won't close. I personally think 9 times is plenty fair. You should not be playing with it. The Tesla Cybertruck is a work vehicle. You have no reason to be opening it and closing it so many times. Well,
I feel sorry for anyone who wrapped their Cybertruck. Apparently it's not even safe to wrap a Cybertruck. Apparently wrap shops just forgot you're only supposed to wrap painted surfaces. The brushed stainless steel texture completely absorbs the adhesive, causing the removal process to look like this and completely ruining the underlying finish. This might explain why Tesla quietly ended their in-house wrap service for the Cybertruck a couple months ago. The irony here is that wraps are really common on the Cybertruck because people were trying to avoid the problems with stainless steel. And now we're finding out that if you wrapped your Cybertruck, there's a very good chance that you've done damage all the way around the truck to the finish of the body panels. Even though this is becoming more well known now, news outlets were reporting about this back in November, around the same time that Tesla canceled their wrap service. For example, this guy who removed a wrap from his car and found that the stainless steel was permanently etched with the letters from the wrap. Cybertruck resale values have already started tanking across the board, and if your Cybertruck has a wrap, it's probably going to tank that resale even more. This is especially unfortunate for the people that got the official Tesla wrap because it costs $6,500. If you bought the foundation version of the Cyber Beast with a wrap, you paid $127,000. You would be very lucky to sell that same truck today for close to 90 grand, and that's assuming there's no damage caused by the wrap. Dude's been struggling to put up his cyber tent for nearly an hour. An hour and a half later, he's still fiddling with it unhappily. An hour later, sun's going down and dude has given up. We think he popped one of the inflatable supports. Guy is very unhappy and cursing and talking about just picking up and going home instead of doing the bike ride tomorrow. He did it. He gave up and drove away. The Pontiac Aztek wins yet again, as expected. This is what the guy was trying to set up, the $3,000 Cybertruck base camp tent. He spent $103,000 plus tax for his camping setup, and he would have been better off with a $20 tent from the store. This guy posted a picture of his Cybertruck loaded up with some camping gear and a meat smoker and said, "This weekend is gonna be insane." And then as soon as he left for his trip, his Cybertruck broke down and told him to urgently call Tesla. And then he made this entire post about how it was a safety feature of the Cybertruck working as intended and not a problem with the Cybertruck itself. But in the post itself, he talks about how it was a problem with the electrical wiring that could have resulted in a very dangerous fire without the fail-safe system. So yeah, it's good that the truck has a fail-safe system, but something tells me that if he had bought a Tacoma for like half the price, his weekend wouldn't have been ruined. So somebody gave their Cybertruck the Clark Griswold treatment. Just why? Why would you do this? Also, Tesla has stopped all Cybertruck deliveries because its giant windshield wiper is failing. The Cybertruck has just one windshield wiper, and it is unusually large and a little bit floppy. And the motor that they have driving this giant windshield wiper is having a difficult time keeping up. Also, people have had their Cybertrucks for a while now and are starting to rack up some serious miles, and it turns out that the Cybertruck is not holding up well. This person has put 15,000 miles on their Cybertruck and says creaks and rattles are a big theme here, especially on the inside. And even though he paid $121,000 for this truck, it still has no autopilot and no driver assistance. Ironically, their windshield wiper broke after only 3 months, and Tesla would not cover it under warranty. Also, most surprising here to me is that their wheels almost fell off. He says the lug nuts backed themselves off. And he says that's not totally unusual if you drive your cars hard, but then immediately says that was a real weird issue and I've never really seen on another car happen like that. And then I'll just end on this note. He says one day it just seemed to start rattling everywhere at 5,000 miles. It seemed like 5,000 to 7,000 miles was the durability test for the interior, and then it just feels like it's falling apart. All this for a truck he paid $121,000 for, and he's still trying to rationalize it as a good purchase.
Not parking next to that thing.
So what?
I don't want to be anywhere near that thing. I don't want to get out near that thing. Oh my gosh, it's right there. That means they're in there. Whoever it is, they're gonna be in there. Oh my God. Oh, is it this woman? No. Oh, this is disgusting. Look at, oh.
So somebody gave their Cybertruck the Clark Griswold treatment. Just why? Why would you do this? Also, Tesla has stopped all Cybertruck deliveries because its giant windshield wiper is failing. The Cybertruck has just one windshield wiper, and it is unusually large and a little bit floppy. And the motor that they have driving this giant windshield wiper is having a difficult time keeping up. Also, people have had their Cybertrucks for a while now and are starting to rack up some serious miles, and it turns out that the Cybertruck is not holding up well. This person has put 15,000 miles on their Cybertruck and says creaks and rattles are a big theme here, especially on the inside. And even though he paid $121,000 for this truck, it still has no autopilot and no driver assistance. Ironically, their windshield wiper broke after only 3 months, and Tesla would not cover it under warranty. Also, most surprising here to me is that their wheels almost fell off. He says the lug nuts back themselves off. And he says that's not totally unusual if you drive your cars hard, but then immediately says that was a real weird issue and I've never really seen on another car happen like that. And then I'll just end on this note. He says one day it just seemed to start rattling everywhere at 5,000 miles. It seemed like 5,000 to 7,000 miles was the durability test for the interior, and then it just feels like it's falling apart. All this for a truck he paid $121,000 for, and he's still trying to rationalize it as a good purchase.
Here's 5 things that I hate about my Tesla Cybertruck, part 2. The first thing that I hate has to do with the wheels. It doesn't come with the hubcaps, and as you can see, it's already rusting like crazy, which just doesn't look great. The second thing that I hate is look at how massive this windshield is. I can't even clean it. Like, I can't even get halfway through it because it's so big. The third thing that I hate is the Cybertruck already had a recall, and this was the fix. They had to put a rivet right here on the gas pedal so it wouldn't come out and get stuck right there, causing serious danger. The fourth thing that I hate is the truck is bulletproof, but the windows are not. As you can see right here, the windows will shatter.
It didn't go through.
The fifth thing that I hate is I picked up this truck brand new a week ago, and there's already broken things right here. So this is broken, and then the tonneau cover seal is broken, and that's just unfortunate on a brand new car. And the sixth thing that I hate is I had to wrap the entire car to get rid of the fingerprints. What do you think? Would you buy a Tesla Cybertruck?
Somehow the dumbest and most dangerous thing about the Cybertruck's design might actually be on the inside. What it boils down to is the Cybertruck's A-pillar, which you can see right here. This A-pillar is huge, so it creates a massive blind spot, but it's actually worse than you might think because it's kind of hard to illustrate in these pictures. That's because the dashboard area behind the screen is weirdly spacious. It's big enough for a grown man to use as a bed. You can see a lot better in this picture just how weirdly big that dashboard area is and how it stretches out that pillar right there. So not only is this part of the A-pillar huge, this part right here is deceptively long and blocks a lot of your view. The Cybertruck was in a wreck with a Lexus, and it appears to be because of that A-pillar blind spot. This is baked into the design of a Cybertruck because they really wanted it to look like a dumpster. This is not something that's a build quality issue or that can be fixed with a software update. I think a truck with this stubby little nose would have good visibility, but in a lot of ways it actually has worse visibility than your standard full-size pickup truck. It's just so painfully obvious that pretty much every problem and safety flaw that the Cybertruck has goes back to Elon Musk forcing this stupid design and for it to be made of stainless steel. Also, a huge thank you to Cornell for buying me 10 copies. That is insane. I will absolutely be making you a video with cool mole facts very soon.
California cops are pissed about the Tesla police cruisers they're being forced to drive these days. They're saying Teslas just aren't built for police work. Since Dodge ended production of the Charger and they haven't made a new one yet, all police departments are being forced to switch off the brand. Many have elected to go electric, especially in California, some choosing to go Tesla with the Model Y or the Model 3. However, across the board, tons of police departments, mainly in California, have a ton of complaints about these electric cars. Most are saying cramped interiors, tech that's too hard to navigate, and safety features that suck make the car more of a hassle than an advantage. One police chief in Ukiah, California is saying the back seat of the Model 3 is so small they can only fit one prisoner at a time, stretching their resources very thin. Another department is saying that the Model 3 and the Model Y's safety features like autopilot and proximity locking are more dangerous than helpful in a high-pressure situation. Imagine being in a high-speed chase and having to fiddle with the touchscreen in order to get your car in gear. Not exactly ideal. Make things worse, officers in full patrol gear with their belts and their vests said that the car is so cramped and uncomfortable that it makes it nearly unusable. Instead, many departments are favoring the F-150 Lightning if they have to go electric. It gets less range technically than a Model 3 or a Model Y, but it's a lot more spacious and I guess a lot easier to use. What do you think? Do you think Teslas are cut out for police work?
No way, this is real. Yo, this looks straight out of a game, oh my god. EMS Cybertruck on Washington Ave.
Currently stuck in the car wash because the Tesla truck behind me broke it. LOL. Slid the Cybertruck into a ditch and window airbags deployed. Pulled it from the ditch and power shut off, and now I can't drive. Total vehicle disabled, not so fun when in remote location without service. Lockers were cool though. Owned the Cybertruck for 6 hours. It's now undrivable. Repair timeline 4+ weeks. This is a graphic of how F-150 owners use their truck, and about 1/3 never use it to haul anything, and 2/3 never use it to tow anything. That 1/3 is the pavement princesses who don't use their truck to do any truck stuff. For the Cybertruck, my guess is that this is more like 90%, and towing is more like 99.9%. In other words, whenever you see a Cybertruck on the road, it's almost guaranteed to be a pavement princess. And in the few times when it tries to go off-road, it never ends well. For the Cybertruck, there should be an additional line on this graph for just being broken down or in service, because there's so many that it's a non-trivial percentage of all the Cybertrucks that have been made. And here's the kicker, it's going to get worse for the Cybertruck and for Tesla in general because they're doing another round of layoffs, and this one is hitting manufacturing. This makes 20% of the company that has been laid off now. It's absolute chaos over there. Also, there's a link in my bio if you'd like to buy me a coffee. Your support means a ton, and thank you for watching. Tesla's official name for this part of the Cybertruck right here is the Vault, implying nothing's getting in there, right? Turns out that's not really the best name for it though, because people are getting water leaking into their bed. And this is happening to a lot of Cybertruck owners. This guy had his vault closed in the rain and it didn't work. Don't worry, Tesla will happily sell you vault cargo bins so you can actually keep your gear dry. A set of 3 will cost you $225. The irony of people bragging about doing truck stuff like this where they would have been better off with a CRV or something like that, because that would actually be waterproof. And Cybertruck owners are just continuing to have a wild time. This guy had so many problems with his Cybertruck that Tesla sent him a new one. And this is what happened with the new one. I cannot get inside my Cybertruck. So his second Cybertruck was bricked as well and had to be towed to the service center. And then there's this guy who said, I've had my Cybertruck for about a week now. I love it. However, at speeds somewhere in the mid-60s, the truck makes an ungodly sound, almost like a train horn. But I still love it. Then there's this guy who got a lemon Cybertruck, and everyone is telling him to take advantage of the lemon laws, and he says the truck is worth the hassles I'm having with the service center. He's blaming the service center instead of the $100,000 lemon that he bought. Unfortunately, there are many, including me, that love the truck too much that we justify these experiences.
The Tesla Cybertruck is the easiest Tesla to park, despite it being the biggest. The reason why, it has a front-facing camera, which is the first Tesla to do so. And the front-facing camera is such a needed feature on the Cybertruck because the truck is such a big vehicle, but the front of it is very short and stubby. So you think you're way closer to objects when you really aren't. So we're using it to pull up to this light post. It feels like we're so close to it, but we're just so far away, simply because the shape of the Cybertruck is so unique. And when we're backing up the vehicle, just like any other car, the rear-facing camera does help a lot. But it also has the side repeaters as well, so we can see how close we are to things. That's also 10 out of 10, a really good feature. All Teslas have that though, so it's just helpful in the Cybertruck because it is such a big vehicle. So what do you think about my parking job? I know it's not perfect. I'm not perfectly centered in the lines, but I don't have to worry about door dings.
You know how headlights have gotten like insanely bright and blinding recently? The Cybertruck has that beat because it can do it in the middle of the day. Why is this street legal? This is just a stock Cybertruck. They've done nothing to this. This is happening because Tesla thought it was a good idea to make body panels for a truck out of stainless steel. There are some places offering a polishing service for the Cybertruck, making this problem like 1,000 times worse. This should never be a thing. You know those mirror puzzles in video games where you have to like redirect the sunlight to complete the puzzle? Well, in this case, the Cybertruck is the mirror and your eyeballs are the solution to the puzzle. Like imagine you're just trying to get lunch on a Tuesday and you get flashbanged by a Cybertruck. I would be so irritated and also reaching for the ibuprofen. Here's a normal, reasonably designed car, right? You can see that the top of the car is white from where you're standing because it's at a 90-degree angle with the sun and is reflecting all of that sunlight. You can also see that the top of the hood is white because that part is also at a 90-degree angle with the sun, but it curves and tapers off and that reflection goes away. The Cybertruck obviously does not do that. It's designed at a very sharp angle. That means at a certain time of day, the sun makes a perfect straight line to the Cybertruck and then a perfect straight line to your eyeballs. And this is just one of those things about the fundamental design of the Cybertruck that is bad and unsafe and can't be fixed with a software update.
This was the Cybertruck that got polished, and they ended up calling the cops on it. As you guys know, Cybertrucks do not come polished. They just come with a regular steel look, just like that. And they ended up polishing the steel on this one, and it gave it that mirror-like finish, and a lot of people basically freaked out when they saw it going around. Because obviously it was just reflecting everything and causing some glare. So much to the point that you actually couldn't see it while it was going around. And essentially what ended up happening was, I mean, there's no problem with it, so they couldn't do anything about it, even though it was causing all this glare. Imagine you're minding your own business and that thing just comes up like a shiny orb out of nowhere.
This is actually what happens when you oil up Toby's. He gets this shiny.
What?
Yeah, for real.
I mean, you can literally watch the process of them buffing and polishing it. It is a mirror. And then Greg commented or pointed this out. This is a $400. Apparently they're super rare, but I don't know anything about them. Right, Gregory?
It is apparently super rare.
To me, I didn't even know. Right-hand drive, too.
You really should weld these bumpers on, but that takes time, equipment, money. So, we use super glue instead. Go ahead, put it on there.
Won't it fall off?
Definitely.
Isn't that dangerous?
Not to me, okay?
Please don't tell me that's the charge level.
It is.
What's the closest Tesla supercharger? 39 miles. And we have 44 miles. Look how many Teslas are here. Yeah, it's because there's no other option. Let's see how long this takes. All right, the truck is plugged in. I better not have to download an app to charge my vehicle. Not gonna lie, I'm actually getting pissed off. This is actually pissing me off.
This is a f***ing disaster.
Yeah, I'm not able to charge it. It says paid charging unavailable. I have to add it to my Tesla account. I've been on the phone with service trying to get like a document submitted because I don't have the title for it. Because I'm at a supercharger and the truck is at 0%. So it's borderline dying and it's 110 degrees out.
I think I can see what's wrong is that the vehicle is still under an unknown buyer. So I'm going to go ahead and escalate this to our site leadership high up in Tesla just to see if we can get a resolution for you right away.
Okay, thank you so much. It just fired up. 45 minutes remaining. It started charging.
So the man in charge of government efficiency just had to recall almost every Cybertruck because they used the wrong glue. The result of which is that a piece flies off the vehicle, sort of like a stainless steel sword, creating a road hazard that's very dangerous. And I don't know about you, but that does not seem very efficient to me. Whether it is the short-sightedness of taking shortcuts building a truck that is just, I mean, it speaks for itself. Or the sheer inefficiency of having to physically recall that many vehicles and the cost associated with doing so. Or the fact that it was the government that made him do it. There are reasons we have good government. There are reasons we have regulations. There are reasons that keep you safe. If the billionaires were allowed to do whatever they want, the only thing that would happen was they would get richer and your
Please don't tell me that's the charge level.
It is.
What's the closest Tesla supercharger? 39 miles. And we have 44 miles. Look how many Teslas are here. Yeah, it's because there's no other option. Let's see how long this takes. All right, the truck is plugged in. I better not have to download an app to charge my vehicle. Not gonna lie, I'm actually getting pissed off. This is actually pissing me off.
This is a f***ing disaster.
Yeah, I'm not able to charge it. It says paid charging unavailable. I have to add it to my Tesla account. I've been on the phone with service trying to get like a document submitted because I don't have the title for it. Because I'm at a supercharger and the truck is at 0%. So it's borderline dying and it's 110 degrees out.
I think I can see what's wrong is that the vehicle is still under an unknown buyer. So I'm going to go ahead and escalate this to our site leadership high up in Tesla just to see if we can get a resolution for you right away.
Okay, thank you so much. It just fired up. 45 minutes remaining. It started charging.
promise this isn't a joke. It's not fake. I got into my Cybertruck today and the screen isn't working. So to change gears, I have to use this emergency gear selector up here. So like now I can reverse, but I have no idea where I'm going because I have no rear view mirror. I can't see. To go into drive, I can easily do that. But like, I don't know how fast I'm going. If I open the door, it does put it in park automatically, but the screen does not work. Let's try resetting it by putting both of my fingers on the scroll wheels on either side. Okay, so that did reset it, I think. I heard something, but there's nothing on the screen right now. What if it's actually broken? Hello, wake up. Oh my gosh, thank God. It looks like it's working now. Whew! I thought this was legitimately broken. Oh. Okay. That's interesting. It never charged last night. Did it like completely just die randomly in the middle of the night? I just want to double check the charging actually works. It's a little bit concerning.
Please don't tell me that's the charge level.
It is.
What's the closest Tesla supercharger? 39 miles. And we have 44 miles. Look how many Teslas are here. Yeah, it's because there's no other option. Let's see how long this takes. All right, the truck is plugged in. I better not have to download an app to charge my vehicle. Not gonna lie, I'm actually getting pissed off. This is actually pissing me off.
This is a f***ing disaster.
Yeah, I'm not able to charge it. It says paid charging unavailable. I have to add it to my Tesla account. I've been on the phone with service trying to get like a document submitted because I don't have the title for it. Because I'm at a supercharger and the truck is at 0%. So it's borderline dying and it's 110 degrees out.
I think I can see what's wrong is that the vehicle is still under an unknown buyer. So I'm going to go ahead and escalate this to our site leadership high up in Tesla just to see if we can get a resolution for you right away.
Okay, thank you so much. It just fired up. 45 minutes remaining. It started charging.
A Cybertruck had to be rescued by a Ford pickup after the Tesla got stuck in the mud and snow on a road in the Sierras south of Lake Tahoe. While the Cybertruck was trying to make room on the road after getting a Christmas tree, the vehicle began to slide down the hill. The driver said it was a prototype and had issues with its four-wheel drive. Ford CEO Jim Farley reposting the video to Twitter or X saying, glad a Ford owner was there to help.
Go back and forth, Nate. Oh. So it's like broke now. Try and go right.
This is the little Cybertruck. This one was set up special with DeWitt whites and DeWitt off-road tires, and a lot of people in my comments told me that when you set the Cybertruck up like that, it's really good at off-roading. And then they took this one off-roading and tried to jump something, and it broke. And then they drove it to the service center, and they broke it even more. And even the diehard Cybertruck supporters are starting to turn around on this truck. Hey Elon Musk, I need a new Cybertruck. I have to admit it now, this is a lemon. On my first road trip in the Cybertruck, it's no longer charging. I paid $100K for this truck, and I can't enjoy it. I've had it for over a month and only drove it for 2 weeks. The rest of the time it's been in service. On top of that, the wall connector charger that came with the truck doesn't work, and service doesn't know when I'll get one. Imagine buying a $100,000 truck and then getting on Twitter and begging the CEO for a new one. What timeline are we living in? Also, say hi to my dog. He's sleepy.
1, 2, 3, 4, Cybertruck. Driving out some stuff and then it's stuck.
Always driven by a stupid fuck.
It is the Cybertruck. It is the Cybertruck.
You know how headlights have gotten like insanely bright and blinding recently? The Cybertruck has that beat because it can do it in the middle of the day. Why is this street legal? This is just a stock Cybertruck. They've done nothing to this. This is happening because Tesla thought it was a good idea to make body panels for a truck out of stainless steel. There are some places offering a polishing service for the Cybertruck, making this problem like 1,000 times worse. This should never be a thing. You know those mirror puzzles in video games where you have to like redirect the sunlight to complete the puzzle? Well, in this case, the Cybertruck is the mirror and your eyeballs are the solution to the puzzle. Like imagine you're just trying to get lunch on a Tuesday and you get flashbanged by a Cybertruck. I would be so irritated and also reaching for the ibuprofen. Here's a normal, reasonably designed car, right? You can see that the top of the car is white from where you're standing because it's at a 90-degree angle with the sun and is reflecting all of that sunlight. You can also see that the top of the hood is white because that part is also at a 90-degree angle with the sun, but it curves and tapers off and that reflection goes away. The Cybertruck obviously does not do that. It's designed at a very sharp angle. That means at a certain time of day, the sun makes a perfect straight line to the Cybertruck and then a perfect straight line to your eyeballs. And this is just one of those things about the fundamental design of the Cybertruck that is bad and unsafe and can't be fixed with a software update.
You remember the last time we had a Tesla and every time you'd slam the door, the entire door fell apart? The whole door panel just came off. We're gonna start with a very gentle door close now. That did not sound good.
Where's it binding up at?
It's the same thing as a Model 3. You slam the door hard enough, the entire panel comes off. We didn't even call our celebrity yet.
Wait, what celebrity?
You don't know.
Who is it? Hey man, you're Cody Detweiler? You're the
Pro bodybuilder Cody Detweiler? Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
Just slam the door really hard. Yep.
It's really long. Oh no! Oh no! No! I fixed it.
Yep.
Broken. There it goes. The whole just ripped off.
Tesla is recalling nearly every Cybertruck. This over an issue with the stainless steel panels that are a threat to fall off the vehicle. Scripps News correspondent Dan Grossman joins us right now. Dan, what are you learning?
Yeah, you know, Tesla has just been taking so many hits between financial, literal hits, and now a sprawling federal recall that could potentially put other cars on the road at risk. Federal regulators are recalling nearly all of Cybertrucks to fix an issue with windshield trim panels that can fly off. This recall involving bad adhesive is the largest yet in the model's short and flawed history.
We shouldn't be surprised because there have been 8 recalls of this Cybertruck since January of last year.
Scott Baradell is the CEO of Idea Grove, a branding and marketing firm.
It's leading to the feeling that maybe there's someone asleep at the switch.
But mechanical problems are not the only obstacle Tesla is facing.
You can't separate the politics of your audience from your product.
Musk has been the face of widespread cuts to government agencies and workers.
It's definitely hurting Tesla. There's no question. There's just no benefit whatsoever to Tesla that what Elon Musk is doing.
Musk has been trying to stop the slide, holding an all-hands meeting with Tesla employees, staging a recent Tesla showcase at the White House.
This man is a great patriot, and you should cherish him.
To the U.S. Secretary of Commerce, urging people to buy his stock.
Buy Tesla. It's unbelievable that this guy's stock is this cheap. It'll never be this cheap again.
Still, Tesla's stock has tumbled 35% over the past year, and used Teslas are losing their value quicker. And people have been attacking Tesla dealerships and cars themselves, which President Trump calls domestic terrorism.
It speaks to the larger level of polarization and anger that a lot of people have as it relates to politics in this country right now.
This recall covers about 46,000 vehicles and all that were manufactured since November of 2023. Alex?